When I came out, a lot of my straight friends, they would ask me, well, when did you know you were gay? How did you know you were gay? And I mean, the typical response is, well, how did you know you were straight? But I mean, there was a time when I started putting things together and I was like, oh, I think I'm gay. The first big major thing was that I was Googling shirtless male celebrities like a lot. And I thought that was something that every guy did. I was like, oh, well, I have to see what I should look like, so I have to Google these celebrities, like everyone does this. Firstly, don't ever try to look like celebrities. That's stupid. Be yourself. And then I figured out that a lot of straight guys don't do this. And one day I was in the shower and I was just like, I'm gay. And there was no going back. I said it. And so the next day in school, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gay. But really nothing changed at all. And why would it? It was just, everything just sort of made sense. When I was 6, I had private tennis lessons after camp. And my tennis coach, when it got really hot, would always take off his shirt. And I really, really liked when he took off his shirt. And I never quite put it together until then why I got so excited whenever his pants would just ride down and down and down. Thanks to the tennis lessons, Mom. In addition to the celebrities, I would always go on MySpace and look up abs, shirtless, things like that. And I just thought that was a normal thing to do for a straight person. So in elementary school, I always had a crush on a different girl every year. And I never dated anyone until freshman year of high school. And she was one of my best friends. We did shows together. We always saw each other in school. And so we just decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So that lasted about 2 weeks. And my next relationship lasted about 2 weeks. And it was always because I never really felt anything for the other person. I just liked the idea of having a girlfriend, a close friend of mine who occasionally we would make out, which, making out's fine. And junior year, I dated a girl for about 5 months. We had been friends for a while before then. We were in a show choir together, and we would see shows together, watch bad movies, and it was fun, and I would have a great time hanging out, but the romantic connection wasn't as strong as I thought it would be, and I guess I thought that I hadn't found the right person at that point. We're still friends. One time we went to see one of the Twilight movies at midnight. It was us, 12-year-olds, and a bunch of cougars. It was really great. When I realized I was gay, I thought, well, how could I be gay? I liked all these girls. I've kissed girls. I've dated girls. And then I started to realize that dating a girl made me normal. I had friends, absolutely, but I didn't consider myself really attractive or really popular or anything like that. And for me, I thought that by dating girls, I would suddenly be where I wanted to be socially. I thought it would help my social life. I thought it would make me happy. But it didn't do either of those things. It just made everyone confused, made me very confused. My parents were a little confused, but they were like, oh, I guess he's straight. I didn't really feel the need to come out. Once I came out to myself, I didn't think, oh, well, I have to tell everybody, I have to make a status about it. What's the point? No one comes out as straight. I don't understand why I have to make this big announcement that I like guys. But I did want to clear up confusion with some people because I made it very clear that I wasn't gay. I did like girls. I dated girls. And people not asked me, but asked my friends. One of my friends, a girl that I liked in middle school, she said, you'll come out when you're ready. And I thought, whoa, what are you talking about? I'm not gay. Why are you making that assumption? So if you suspect that somebody is gay, don't try to force it on them. Believe me, they are trying to figure it out. My best friend came out to me as gay a few years before. She and I went on a walk. We were walking around town, and I thought she was going to say she liked me and wanted to be my girlfriend, and I thought, cool, awesome, great. So we got to a point about 50 feet before her house, and she brought up this show that she'd made me watch, The L Word. And she was like, so you know the L Word? And I was like, yeah, what about it? She was like, well, I think I'm an L. And that shocked me. I had no idea. Though looking back now, we make jokes about it because she was on the softball team and I just didn't have any idea. So when I came out to her, we went on a walk, we were walking around, and we got to that same point in front of her house, and we were talking about cute people that were in my a cappella group. And I brought up a guy's name, and she hugged me. She was like, oh, I knew, but yeah, I'm glad you told me. So I told some people at school as well, just to clear things up. And then eventually I went to Italy with my a cappella group, and I told a few people there, and we're just kind of spread, and I was like, whatever. So eventually I got back home, and one of my friends set me up with this guy that she was friends with. So we were talking on Facebook, and we met in person, and we decided to go on a few dates, and then it became Facebook official. So I put it on Facebook, and my brother asked me, he said, Steven, are you gay? And I told him not to tell my parents because I didn't want them to hear it from him. I figured that would kind of be insulting if he told them and I didn't bring it up. I wanted to tell my parents at the same time. If I had to tell them, I wanted it to be all of us together, not one before the other. So one day I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. So I walked into the kitchen, I took a breath, and my dad looks up from his computer and says, oh my God, Michael Jackson died. So I had to wait. Eventually I did have my boyfriend over one day, and my mom came home. We were just watching a movie, and after he left, she said, oh, is he gay? And I said, yeah. And then she was like, are you gay? And I said, yeah. And then we hugged, and just literally she said, oh, well, I have to hug you. So we hugged, and of course she expressed concern about people being hurt, HIV, AIDS, all those things. We did Laramie Project in my high school my sophomore year, and we did Elegies for Angels, Punks, and Raging Queens the next year. So there was a lot of discussion of gay hate and disease, and so it brought up a lot of concerns, but I promised her I'd be fine, I'd be safe, I'd be careful. One day, it was just me and my dad in the house, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna tell him. So I go into the living room, and I say, hey, can we talk? And we don't do that. We don't get all serious like that. It's not. And so he laughed. He was like, haha, oh, what? And so I was just like, I'm gay. And he was like, oh, okay. And then we hugged, and that was that. Nothing changed. My relationship with my friends, straight friends, my parents, nothing changed. It was just, he's gay. A lot of people have this idea that when somebody comes out, they're suddenly dressing differently, and their hair is like, wow, they're wearing like, they're walking around like, it's not like that. I mean, if you want to, go ahead, but really it's just about being comfortable with who you are. I'm not defined by my sexuality, it's just, I just so happen to be gay. Luckily, I had family, friends, and a school district that was very, very supportive. I didn't ever experience hate in high school either before or after I came out, which, though I was very fortunate in that aspect, I know a lot of people don't have it the same way, and it's tough to be yourself. I know, at least where I'm from, there is the Mainland Youth Alliance, which is for young LGBT students, young people, for them to meet. It's anonymous, and they can go and they can talk and they can just be themselves, free, open. I don't know if they have those in other towns. I hope they do, because even though I didn't really make use of it, I know it was a huge help to a lot of other people. And every day, lawmakers are taking steps moving forward, pushing for equality all over the country. So hopefully by the time I'm ready to be married, I can be married back home in Pennsylvania. So until then, we just have to keep fighting for it. No, ew, it sounds like a cheesy monologue. So I wanted to make this video because when I was coming out, these YouTube coming out stories were a huge help for me. It's actually the whole reason that I made a YouTube channel. I was really inspired by all the stories from just normal people talking about their experience, and it made me feel better and like I wasn't alone. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, America.